Hello, homeschool mom, and welcome to this week's episode of the Homeschool Well Podcast. It's Kim and Jenny here today.
Hello.
We are in the month of February, and all month we've been talking about modification to your curriculum. And I hope that you have been anchored up with some amazing strategies that we've given, and also a different mindset that you are the master of your curriculum, Mama. It is not the master of you.
Amen.
Amen. I love that. So today we are going to help you replace this thought that if a curriculum isn't working, you have to go out and buy something else.
Yes.
You can modify what you have without starting over. If the curriculum that you have is not working, and you continue to switch it out and go buy something else, and then you replace that with something else, and then you see your friend doing something that looks better, so you replace that with something else. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
Yes.
we have. And it's no fun. It's expensive. It's frustrating. You're wasting time. You're wasting money. It's not realistic. And your kids are like, are you a grasshopper or what?
You're chasing the shiny object syndrome.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's a great visual. Chasing the shiny object. Listen, just hold on for a minute. Look at what you have with this mindset of, I'm going to change it. I'm going to modify it. It's okay. This improvement is not going to require a total overhaul. We're going to show you how you can just make small adjustments that will bring you the relief and deliverance of whatever burdensomeness is, going on with this curriculum. You can just change it. And guess what? You're still going to make progress in your students' learning.
Yes.
When you are consistently, right, you're consistently going back to this curriculum, you just are modifying the methods and the concepts therein. That is going to be so much better than constantly changing books or changing, your video series or whatever. It's just so much better. Consistency beats constant change, even if the quantity of work that your children are producing is less than you think it should be. Even then, consistency beats constant change.
Yes.
Now you're sitting there wondering, how is this possible, Kim and Jenny? Well, we have some very applicable tips for you. What is the first one, Jenny?
So the first one is just to simplify the lessons. You don't have to do everything that's written down in the script or every activity that's in there if it's becoming just overwhelming. You don't have to teach it in the way that the author wrote it in the book. You can teach it in a different way if you think you can figure out a more simple way to do it. One example I've actually had recently in doing this is teaching a homeschool curriculum to a group of students in a school. And the curriculum is EIW. It's a writing curriculum, not IEW, but EIW. When I was looking through this particular lesson, knowing the group of kids that I was going to work with, I was like, oh, this is so confusing. And I didn't like the topic that he wanted us to write about. And so I just thought, you know what, we're going to make it more relatable to the kids. So I changed the topic to something that motivated them instead of, I think he had write about a carnivorous animal that you don't like or something like that. We were creating paragraphs. I said, okay, we're going to write about something that you've been trying to convince your parents of. So a lot of them thought of topics like, I've been trying to convince my parents to get me a dog. I've been trying to convince my parents to up my video game time from 1 hour to 2 hours. They all definitely had something they've been arguing with their parents about. They've been trying to convince their parents about. So I was like, oh, okay, we're not going to read all this stuff in the book. I'm taking what's been taught here and I'm going to just turn it into something that would be more simple and more relatable. And we just did it that way. So you can always just simplify the lessons if they're too overwhelming. I know of several homeschool curriculums that are just too much. They're just too much.
And I think we need to help them visualize that You're talking about the words from the teacher edition, like the red words, right?
Oh, I'm
that
talking about,
the
no, we were
publisher.
actually doing the ones in the, no, this was actually the ones on the page for the students.
Okay, so in the student workbook,
Yes.
it gave all kinds of steps to the student.
Yeah.
And the topic was about the
Something
carnivorous
weird.
animal or something.
Yeah, that
And
you don't
so,
like, that's your least favorite. Or, yeah.
right? And so you just knew it wasn't motivating
No.
them. You saw and you knew them because you know these students and moms, you know your kids,
Right.
you know what motivates them, right? And so, you know, you take your big marker and you just put an X over all that stuff. Or you put an X over carnivorous animals and you put,
And that's what they
you know,
did.
convincing your mom, you know, right? And they get excited about that. Yeah, you have the ability to change the process of the way that the publisher is teaching, you know, to your kids and also the topic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, make it more relatable to your family. Make it work.
And the second one is to skip what isn't essential. That's right. Mom, I said skip. And I do mean bring out the big marker and put an X through it. And I have a great example for this. In math, so many math curriculums put so many practice problems built into their workbooks. And it's just not necessary if your child is already proficient in that skill. If they know how to add 3-digit numbers, there's no reason for them to sit there and do 10 or 20 problems, you know, practice when they already know how to do it. So I used to tell my kids, if you can do 3 perfect problems, then we're going to cross out the rest. You know, and if they got one wrong, they did one more. So they had 3 perfectly done at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the lesson, they practiced 3. Or if it's something that maybe they're not as proficient in and they do need a little bit of practice, but still 20 problems or maybe even 10 problems is too long for them, you can say, all right, just do the odd problems or do the even problems. That will motivate a kid so much.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can see them go from, I'm just going to skip this. I'm not doing any of this. And then when you take your marker out and you start crossing things out, or I would like circle the ones that they had to do if it was odds or evens, then they're like, okay, I'm super motivated now. You know, I got this.
Yeah, and I have to say, for my son who really hated math and who was careless in math, if I said do 3 problems and do them perfectly, and then we're done, boy, he sure got really careful and very tedious with that. Like
I love it.
he was like, oh, yes, I'm going to get these 3. Yeah,
Focused.
he could totally get it done and do them all right, usually.
I'm going to say something else that sounds like heresy, like math heresy, Jenny Barr.
What?
I'm going to say, let your child even use the calculator.
Yes.
Because guess what? Using the calculator is a skill.
Yes.
Yes, some kids are like, what is this thing? And then you teach them how to use it, and it becomes super cool. And as a grown person, we are not sitting here with papers and pencils doing math problems. We're doing the calculator on our phone. That's why they put it there. Or now we're just asking ChatGPT what's the answer.
Or Siri.
So
Siri will
Right?
tell me the answer.
And I'm not saying all the time, but, you know, just read the room, like figure out what's going on with you and your family and your kids. And if you've got to be somewhere and you want to do a little bit of math and you only have, 10 or 20 minutes, it's okay to just skip some problems.
Yes.
You have our permission.
That's right.
Also, publishers will sometimes fill a curriculum with lots of bonus content, extension, review content. You do not need to do all this stuff. If it's fun and it blesses you, that's amazing. If you have one kid who needs some extra work, and that's why they do that in curriculum, is for kids on different levels. Not every kid is going to do the extension stuff. That's not why they put it in there. It's just for kids that you want to do extra. But sometimes you might not do the core assignment, and the extension part might be the part that fits your family the best. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
So right? The hands-on activity that is the extension or the bonus or the review, that might be the part that you do. And the other parts, you just fold over that page or rip it out and throw it away. No, you don't have to throw it away. They might want to get to it someday if they like it or something. But anyway, especially if it's, again, with content that they are already proficient in, things they already know, don't feel like you have to have them do it just because it's in the book or in the curriculum. Okay? Skip it.
Yes. Another way you can modify curriculum is to add in some support tools like audiobooks or videos instead of reading the book or reading all the lessons. And I'm thinking history or science. A lot of, you can get so many different things to supplement your curriculum. One of the things that happened to us is we were using Not Grass curriculum. And I thought, oh, this is going to be so awesome. All these people love this series and everything. And I bought it, the middle school history, American history, and it was so boring. We couldn't stand it. So we just supplemented with some Men Who Built America, like the History Channel Men Who Built America videos, and added some other things to it, and it made it amazing.
That is such a great series. You told me about it, and we added that into ours.
Love it.
And
I would watch it all again.
So good. Yeah. They're great documentaries. And also Horrible Histories. That is a hysterical like spoof on history. And some of them you want to, if you ever really like, they talk about poop or whatever, you know, like plumbing in ancient Rome or whatever. So you might want to look at it first. They're quick, usually 5 to 10 minutes long videos, but they are so funny and just give a whole another twist on history. And I found another resource recently for geared toward more high school is a website called Teach with Movies. And there's lesson plans also that go with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, some of the movies are definitely ones that you want to preview because there might be more of a like PG-13 content. But there's a lot of great movies, not just history, but they have a lot of literature-based movies that are suitable for students.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was thinking Seven Sisters curriculum has that too. They have a lot of literature and movies, and also Guest Hollow. They have a guide you can buy that has this timeline, and it has every book and movie that goes with certain events in history.
Lots of external links.
So good. It used to be free, but now they make you pay for it, and they totally should.
Yeah, it's a pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing resource. But also links to like speeches. You know, they want you to like read speeches. That's kind of hard for certain kids to read a speech. But when you watch the speech of the person who actually gave it, you know, it makes you cry. That Martin Luther King speech was on TV on Martin Luther King Day. I'm like crying my eyes out.
That's good.
It's so powerful. And you look at the people around, how they're reacting, and they didn't know then what an impact. They had no idea there was going to be a Martin Luther King Day one day.
That's good.
So anyway, those are just a few ideas of support tools that help you modify without starting over. If this is very intimidating for you, and when you need some more help and some more individualized strategy sessions, that's where we come in. We would love to help you with that. We have the Well community for homeschool moms. We have an online forum, 24/7 direct messaging. Every month we do a live workshop, and in February our workshop was about modifying curriculum. So we give lots of details and information there, and we recorded that, and it is available to our community members anytime, as well as many other pre-recorded videos to help you become a better teacher and just feel confident and empowered. That's why we're here.
You can check all this out at thehomeschoolwell.com, and you can get all the information there. And we want to thank you for joining us today. We hope this helped you and gave you some ideas of how to modify curriculum so you're not having to start all over.
We will see you next week for a whole new episode. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.